Hello, I'm Chris Smith, service technician here at LeBlond's Limited. Today we're going to go over how to properly level up your machine to get any twist, high, or low spots out of your machine so your machine can put out the best quality cut. We're going to get started today on our RKL 1332G gearhead machine, our #1 educational series machine. So let's get started. Okay, so getting started, first a good helpful tip is refer to your machine manual that's supplied with the machine, and on page 8, go ahead and read that. It talks about leveling up the machine and getting started. Next, the tools we were going to need is a number 24 millimeter wrench. So if you've got a large one like I have, that's ideal. If not, just your regular common adjustable wrench, a large one, works just to get good leverage because the machines are heavy trying to lift and raise. Next, we'll talk about your levels. I'm using a Starrett model 199. It's 15 inches in length. Precision level measures within 5/10 of an inch. Another thing you would always want to do is you always want to handle it holding on the outside, as your body temperature, if you hold it here, can cause the level to be distorted. So always a good rule of thumb, hold it on the outsides. Another thing that's also helpful, if you can and you have the time, before you level out the machine, just bring the level out and set it on the machine like so. That way the level can adjust to the temperature of the room you're in and with the machine to give you a good quality, accurate reading. Okay, so first, before we get started, I'm going to take a nice clean cloth, and I've sprayed it with Windex. That's what I use around here. It's a good all-around cleaner. And I'll wipe parts of the bed where I'm going to place my levels to keep them good and clean. They have a nice clean surface to work off of. We're going to work on our front to back first. Get those all within pretty close before we work on our length of our machine. I'm using 2 different levels. They're both the same exact level. If you don't have 2 levels, that's fine. It just makes it go a little bit quicker if you do. So you can kind of watch both ways in a way. And what you'll also need is a good set of gauge blocks. These can all be picked up along with your level through McMaster-Carr, Granger, or any machine supply shop will have them. But you definitely want a good set of gauge blocks. And when putting them down, you always want to give them a bit of a rub so they mate well with the bed. And why you need the gauge blocks is because of your V-ways on your bed. That way you can get your level up over top of them to get a good, accurate reading. So to get started, this machine has 8 leveling feet. To get started, the only ones we need to worry about are the inside feet. The one here, right here, and the ones directly behind it on the back side of the machine. This outer set, these 2 back here, once we get the machine leveled in place, we will just bring down to a touch and lock down. Same with the 2 on this very end. They are just to stabilize and kind of hold this head in place. So you can do, to make it easier, all your leveling within the bed. Now if your machine was a lot longer and you had extra feet coming down off your machine, you would also always want to make sure you put the level over top each foot that you're leveling on to get your best accurate reading. Okay, so to get started, I need to work my front to back, and I need to bring my back up a touch on this end. So I'll go back here. Now I need to bring the bubble up to me. So in order to do that, I'll work on this leveling screw, and I'll screw it down, which will raise the machine up. Now if I needed to take the bubble that way, I would turn it counterclockwise, lower in the machine, so the bubble would turn that way. But as I need to go up, I'll just tighten to raise the machine. If your level is within the parameters of being level, Just the slightest hair movement will cause it to move. So it's looking halfway decent there. And don't think just because it's a shorter machine that down here on this end it'll be level, because it won't. I know it's hard to kind of think, but these machines, they are flimsier than you think and will twist. They have high and low spots, so you always want to check it all over the bed. Check in there. I can bring this down. And it does take some time and patience. And it is very critical that you take the time and patience to get your machine perfectly level so you get the best quality cut that that machine can do. We just want to use hair movements. Gone a hair too much. Now, as you can see, I keep going back and forth just because the slightest little movement I make on this side or this side is also throwing it off on either end. So like I said, take your time, get it right. So your machine can perform for you. Now, it doesn't matter when you're working side to side if you start up here towards the head or the back, as long as you just get it within level. I'll bring this back side up a touch. Now that I've got my side to side looking really good, now I'm going to go through and do my longitudinal, checking those. And this is where two levels come in good and handy. So I can leave one looking from side to side. And another thing to keep in mind is you want your surfaces to be as clean as possible, because even a hair can distort the level. I'm using just Windex is what we use. It's a good all-around cleaner, just to get the bed free of any oils, any chips, anything that could distort my level. Also, you'd want to wipe off the bottom of your level just to make sure that it's free of anything. And again, you want to rub it side to side so that the two surfaces can mate with each other to give you the best possible reading you can get. Now I need to bring my tail end up a bit, and I want to bring up both this one and the other one up the same amount. That way it'll also keep my side to side good. Again, like I said, it's always best to take time and the patience to get this done right the first time. So every part that you are cutting will be completely accurate. Just hair movements until you're in. Small adjustments if your bubble's in range. Okay, so we're moving the levels down this end. Checking our, it was good when I had it up here. Now we're checking down here. And you would think it would be in, but it's not. It's off a hair. I'm just trying to determine. Now I've got it sitting level, looking good there, but we want to go back and check, put the levels back. Again, we can't stress enough how important it is to take your time, be patient, and get this correct. To get the best possible cut. Just going back and checking. I'm still good side to side up here by the headstock after all those adjustments, and I'm good lengthwise back here on the tailstock. Just to make sure everything is good and precise. I'm going to keep going back and forth because every little movement throws the machine out and into a little bit of a twist. So you want to keep checking. Before you can call it good, you need to check all over the bed, make sure you're good and level. Take it back and double check again. Coming back and just gonna keep double checking. I didn't throw off my side to side. Again, just on these small movements, we're getting close. So for good measure, you wanna just keep going back and forth until you're in. Again, this is where your patience comes in to get it right. Gonna go back and check my side to side at the headstock. Again, making sure you have a nice clean surface. And you want to just keep going back and forth. Just to ensure that you've definitely got the machine completely sitting level. Just going back and double checking, make sure none of my movements threw my length off down here at the tailstock or my side to side on the headstock. I like that. We'll go back and check once more just to double check. Yep, we look good. We'll just double check. Just need a hair. Yep, and there we have it. We're now sitting good and level. So next you want to go around your locking nuts. Take down our locking nut. Lock it good and tight. All down to a touch. And keep checking your levels to make sure when you tighten these that you don't throw it out of level while locking down. Get them good and tight. And with each one you do, keep going and checking your level, making sure not to throw it off. Like I said, keep coming, double checking. Now you should be good and secure. So you go around to your outside feet and just with a hand tighten. Bring them down to a touch. Give your wrench just a hair turn to put a little bit of weight on it. And look up and double check your levels that you didn't distort it. Now, things that could be helpful is if you had an extra set of hands, somebody to watch the level while another person turns the feet, telling them what to turn, can make it go by a little quicker. Also, at LeBlond, we offer an installation package where we'll come out, level the machine, make sure it's wired properly, and give you a certificate on the leveling. So you can go to LeBlondUSA.com to get more information about that. At any time you go and move your machine, or somebody comes in and bumps into it with a forklift, if you're in a machine shop like that where forklifts are running up and through them, you'll always want to go back and check the level of your machine and re-level it. With any installation, you want to make sure you level it. And a good thing to do every 6 months, you want to just check the level again, just because vibration of the machine running. If you wreck your tool and cause the machine to jump, that'll throw it all out and you won't get a good quality product or a good cutting on your product. So every 6 months to 1 year is a good time to go and just double check your level. If your temperature in your machine changes, if you don't have good heating in the winter time, even the weather can throw off the level a bit, just changing the metal temperature. So it's always a good rule every 6 months to 1 year to go through and do a level. That concludes our video of leveling here with LeBlond. If you have any questions or comments, please contact us at LeBlondUSA.com. We look forward to hearing from you.